Well, the build-up has led to this. Three previous rounds, and now here we are, round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, Old Bridge Township Raceway Park. That's a mouthful. We simply call it E-Town. A hero is born and a hero is 15 years old, and he's on track going against the pride of Paducah, Jonathan Hurst, in that Mr. Cool Cadillac. Man, talking about Mr. Cool, he dropped the top on that thing, man. Looking like he was slow rolling right there, tipping on some faux foes. Look at this, in that second outside zone, he drops into formation. Look at that, grinding on the door just a little bit. Now past that inside clip, transition outside zone 3, just lets him transition in front. And now that last outside zone, looks like Hurst comes up a little bit short
when they get into this run.
You know, I think all the drivers here in pro competition have great lead runs, but what really defines a champion and a victor is the chasing capabilities. And here goes Hero Manoa. Great angle from Jonathan Hurst. Look at that, great placement of the car. Look at Hero diving in. Love to see him again. Drop back just a little bit. Got that proximity. You can see that little left foot brake, that front left, chalking it up a little bit in that last outside zone. There goes Hero Manoa diving in on the inside. Is it enough?
Is it enough?
I don't think so. And neither
so.
do the judges. Hero Manoa, some dominant driving there, like his. You know, that could hurt D-Mads if we have to call an actual competition timeout for not just body parts, but actual runability. And there goes D-Mads in that first outside zone. Ryan Turk lets him go and transition in front. And that second outside zone, Ryan Turk goes into the dirt with that hot hatchback. And Derek Madison is off and running. There goes D-Mads past an inside clip. Ryan Turk in the last outside zone, brings it on in. Turk coming up shallow. And here we go, Turk will be leaving the line in the lead position. Here he comes with that Toyota GR Corolla, the hot hatchback, the Rain-X vehicle. Comes in that first outside zone. Now transitioning into the second. Good attitude, got the clean air. Derek Madison dips back in there. He is in that second outside zone, long outside zone. Now coming past that inside clip. There goes Derek Madison now transitioning into that last outside zone. Good placement by Ryan Turk. Again, slide him left for D-Mads and right for Ryan Turk. And Derek Madison takes out Ryan Turk. Or
who's leading and who's chasing?
He would be leading again first. We're going back to round 1.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, right. Here we go back to the action, or let's kick off the action as RCP Rome Sharpens here and Dmitry Brutsky in that BMW. He got third, he got third on the podium into that second outside zone. There goes RCP. Nice job by him coming into the second, now coming into the third. Dmitry Brutsky, that safetyrestored.com BMW, bringing it across the finish line.
Dimitri's got to lay down an absolutely epic lead run here to be able to take Rome out.
Yeah, he said on the podium, he said he was kind of easy yesterday in pro, a little too aggressive maybe prospect. So find, you know, Goldilocks in the three driving styles, right? This one's too soft, this one's too hard. This one is just right as he settles on in comfort into that outside zone 2. Here goes RCP. Rome Sharpens here past that inside clip. Good execution by both the drivers. Now in that last outside zone. Getting freshly striped, looks good, man. This looks pristine. Slide him left or right or one more time, and there it is of RCP and Brutsky. Two of the judges said one more time. One of the judges said, I believe it was Dmitry. And here we go, RCP initiating in front of Brutsky. Good line as they enter that first outside zone. Brutsky timed that perfectly in the chase position. A little comes out of it unwound, but then has that good proximity. Tuck back a little bit, mimic the angle there, Brutsky, but great placement of the car. Now comes that last outside zone. RCP, big attitude. You saw him just throw it in there, very confident.
So, tough time.
Yeah, you really got to just, and Dmitry knows this track really, really well. So let's take a look. Here it is, Dmitry Brutsky out front of that first outside zone. Now transitioning. Dmitry with kind of a slow transition there, it seemed like, but that allowed Rome to get right in the pocket. So that's what I was talking about, mimicking that angle. Looks like he's just very parallel. The twin BMWs here going past that inside clip. Dmitry, he digs deep, maxes out the angle. Slide him left for Rome, right for Brutsky, and it looks like RCP gets the victory. We get a winner. Moving on to 16, right? Here we are, our fourth battle. It's ended at 32. Here goes James Eaton initiating in that AutoZone Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD Novak. transitioning nicely against the champ into that second outside zone. Novak just trying to shove it around. Is that too much? Gonna need to see that overhead view, get some real dynamic angles here, looking more like a video game here, and we're just gonna need the assist on the different angles. Why is this move? But it might be what takes you out, because Novak being aggressive, he had to back off, ended up hurting him more than it did helping him being that aggressive. Novak now coming to the second outside zone. He's gonna try to put down a blazing run. James Dean tucks it nicely, knows his track. Like I said, winner last year. Can he go back-to-back here in New Jersey? Pass that inside clip. Gives him enough room to go ahead and get that initiation. Look at Novak digging deep. Look at the angle.
Yeah.
Just absolutely locked in. Here we go. Slide him left for Dean, right for Novak. James Dean gets 1 vote, 2 votes, and unanimously. That's it. You know, you saw the head shake from Dimitri. You know, you don't want to go out this early. But right now, it's Matt Field. Look at that. That car, he got battered and bruised there in practice. That's what you got to bring. Ryan Literal brings it in with the Go Sunoco S chassis. But look at Matt Field riding that course edge in his Borla Performance Heat Wave Lean Customs Corvette. Now transitioning in. I know Scarps likes it, going that last outside zone and bringing it on in is Matt Field in the lead position.
Get the speed he needs to keep up with Matt Field. So.
And here we are back in the action. Ryan Literal out front. That Sunoco S chassis. Matt Field intel goes that first outside zone. Looks like Matt got hung up just a little bit. Ryan massaged it in. Good placement of that vehicle out front. That does allow Matt Field to get close proximity. Almost loses and goes back out into the dirt. Gets a little bit of chunky here. I feel like it's glitching and downloading a little bit. It's kind of buffering as far as the downloaded file. But Matt Field looks like he puts it together. Takes out Ryan Literal. Moving on to our next battle, Ken Gucci, the OG versus Ben Hobson. Ben Hobson, sophomore season behind the wheel of his Ford Mustang. The pink accents on that Pennzoil livery, always signature move from Ben Hobson. Now into that second outside zone, the big long one. Hobson shuts her down, and Hobson stranded out there. Not sailing right now, as Ken Gucci will continue on through the paces, and this will be a major advantage for Ken Gucci if he keeps it sideways, and he does. What went wrong for Ben? Had a great attitude, but as you know, ebbs and flows, man, peaks and valleys. The darkness makes the colors that much more vivid. Speaking of vivid, let's have a vivid initiation. Here we go, Frederick Osmo. Big initiation. Daigo Saito not part of the equation. That Ajuka Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, Bathing Ape livery, having some struggles there in that second outside zone. Now he's just going to grind. He's going to go to the mosh pit here. Listen to some thrash metal. Going to that last outside zone. Diving in is Freddie. Daigo Saito dives, but it checks up. Yeah, I would say after that second outside zone, look at him. I mean, he is just lighting them up already, just giving it the beans. Into that first outside zone, here goes Daigo Saito. Freddie in tow, now transitioning into that second. There we go, that's Daigo. That's what, like you said, maybe drives a little bit angry here. That can work out for him, getting to the dirt, but look at Freddie even jumps off the bridge with them just a touch, losing a tread there. And now coming in last outside zone, the GT Radials grip up on outside zone 3. Very fun to see these two veterans of drifting, not even Formula Drift, but Frederick Osbo. And here we go. All right, so taking a look at Dylan Hughes initiating into Jack Shanahan. And Dylan Hughes into that first and now second outside zone. There goes Shanahan. Transitioning past. Oh, nice job by Jack Shanahan. Great pressure there. Dylan Hughes past that inside clip. Now into that last, and there's that Irish transition. Just drops into formation.
We're starting to see that with Jack Shanahan.
Here we go. Jack Shanahan out front. The 59 BMW goes on in. On the Kumo tires, the car grips up, now transition. Dylan Hughes backs off. That could have been really bad there. Now, look at these guys. I mean, this is a great battle. The proximity, the angle, all of it right now really delivering between Shanahan and Dylan Hughes. That is a big flame, and that is not where you want to see him coming from.
Adjustments. And the transition from Dylan Hughes, taking notes, and that's when we see that fire jump off the Jack. Tough to say. That is the side that the turbo is on, so that's where my brain originally goes, is did something let go in the turbo.
Oh, look at that. Dylan Hughes takes out Jack Shanahan. So here we go. Speaking of bonkers right now, Jonathan Castro, second in Orlando, going against Austin Mata. It does Mata. Here we go into that first outside zone. tucks into position there. Jonathan Castro, like I said, a lot of momentum, not only into that second outside zone, but coming here into New Jersey. Austin, look at that, mimicking that really good, solid angle, go past the inside clip, both of them right on it there. Now to that last outside zone, Castro throws it in, the car rips up with those Kenda tires, now transitioning out. And here we go, taking a look. Austin Mana initiates into this first outside zone, and Jonathan Castro brings it on into the second. Look at Austin, that rate to angle going to that second outside zone. I think it caught Castro off guard. You can see him there not mimicking that angle there past the inside clip. He just barely nudges it over with that front left headlight. Again, his rate to angle, the snappy transitions, very aggressive. Do we have a winner? Slide him left for Castro, right for Mata, and Castro gets the win. Literally, a tree was smashing into that. Now I feel like he is Groot now. He's taking on the harness of the trees. Daniel Stuckey and that M-Spec Performance S chassis initiates into that first outside zone. Here's that Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z of Jeff Jones. He might be fixed, but he risk getting that vehicle back there. That's what Reese was just talking about. Placement of the vehicle, get deeper into that outside zone, chase position, taking out that inside clip. Now into outside zone 3. Daniel Stuckey almost out to that edge of the course. That's showing you that he is deeper with that S chassis.
He's got nothing to lose right now. Almost lost the car, and he's back in the battles.
Right? I mean, 100 events Jeff has been participating in Formula Drift. So he has been, this is 101st for him. Jeff Jones now transitioning into this outside zone, showing you his seniority here. Put some respect on it. Look at this. So here's Daniel Stuckey now. He found himself on the outside looking in, and then he dips the back end of that 527 S chassis, and now bringing it back into that last outside zone. Placement of the car. We'll see. And saying, hey, it's not just about me, it's about everybody. And look at this one more time. So it's a one more time. Stuckey will lead. Almost, man, just flirt with those cones, man. Right. Getting a restart, not a big deal. But here we go, Daniel Stuckey, aggressive initiation, quick little handbrake yank. So that was good, massaged it in. Jeff Jones, easy get to the side of it. That Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z, big drift energy, hot pit auto fest. Now coming past that inside clip, bang, right on it. Jeff Jones, good fluidity, but I'll tell you what, Stuckey is putting up, just building a really good platform there. And here we go with Jeff Jones out front, Daniel Stuckey in the chase position. Jeff is going to swing his thing into that first outside zone, and he does that quick little correction, little feet of the wheel into the second outside zone, hopping his way in, and puts it right in the middle of that second outside zone. Looks like keeps that back right in. Daniel Stuckey mimicking good angle there now. Let's see how they flick it in this last outside zone. Precision. Stuckey a little late with the swing into that last outside zone. Looks like Daniel Stuckey gets 1 vote, gets 2 votes, and Stuckey gets the victory over just earlier this year. So let's see, Chris Forsberg will lead, Rudy Hansen giving chase. This should be a good battle. Two very different styles, a veteran and a mildly newcomer by comparison. Definitely a newcomer compared to Christopher Forsberg. Forsberg in that all-new Z, now it's going to drink Nissan Nismo Z, now ripping past that inside clip. Rudy Hansen now will transition to that last outside zone. Rudy tries to dive in, gets a little too aggressive there. Want to see that overhead view, almost overcooked it. And we've seen it with pro spec practice, all of it. So Rudy Hansen's got the clean arrow, the neon nose, taking his jet ski inspired livery here on that first outside zone. Now transitioning outside zone 2. Chris Forsberg forges an attack. Trunk pop there, but not affecting too much here. Now Chris Forsberg almost banging door past that inside clip. Let's see the transition here in outside zone 3. Forsberg tries to anticipate that and goes into outside zone. Stand and deliver. And there it is. Chris Forsberg gets the win.
Does he? Yeah, maybe.
You.
Oh, I mean, hey, he'll engrave anything.
All right. Adam LZ initiating into that Drift HQ BMW E36. Dan Burkett, how is he navigating through that smoke? He's not. I think he got blinded. Like I said, I mean, how he came out of that would be insane. And it looks like LZ continues on through the paces. Didn't see any contact. He was back there quite a bit. Man, the amount of smoke. Adam LZ, he won here in E-Town in 2023. Rad Dan Burkett, love to get on the box. The Rad Industries Supra, he has a big uphill climb here in that Mark IV Supra. He tries transition, he came out a little bit early, maybe even fighting the car a little bit there on the transition, but the Mark IV Supra, definitely a weapon Now he is leading, and Adam LZ chasing him down. Big angle there. He tries to throw it out as he finishes and crosses that finish line.
It looked like it was down maybe a couple hundred horsepower, but either way. So it seemed like he was practicing that and how far in the zone he could take it.
Here we go, Odi Bakshis throws it in that first outside zone. A lot of handbrake there, massaging it in. And now in that second outside zone, that allows Andy Haley. Look at Odi just work it right in that second outside zone. The Drift Wizard, sorcery. Don't know if exactly it's working right now. Odi, oh my gosh,
yeah.
Almost goes off, but I mean, that's what you want. That is that X factor that, come on, come.
No, seriously.
Come frolic, lead you into deep waters.
Exactly. It's a technique.
All right, well, Andy Haley, a little late delivery there. I don't think he's past the point of no return, but you know, just kind of going and easing on into it. Wasn't very violent with it. And look at that great car placement. Odi Bakshis tucking in nicely right into that pocket like a marsupial and a kangaroo, like a baby Joey now in that last outside zone. Odi comes unwound a little bit. Here it is, Odi Bakshis, and gets one vote and one more time. So that's the other Shanahan, Connor Shanahan versus TLO, Tommy LeMaire. Odi Bakshis out front, Andy Haley. Straight line approach there by Odi Bakshis. And Andy Haley tucks in that Evo Autoworks BMW. You can see he's nosing in, rolling in that second big, long outside zone. And look at Andy Haley past that inside clip. Doesn't have a big degree of angle. You can see that kind of like, again, in the transitions, you see him kind of really kind of crawling his way in.
And still drive to the door of Andy without, you know, missing these zones.
All right, so I know that Odi Bakshis got the horsepower on deck. I think he just needs to show a little bit of dominance here if he really wants to solidify the deal, mimic that angle, and keep that car in control. And that's what we know Odi to have, is that horsepower on deck. One of the best chasers in the biz. And look at that, just allowing him to just cross across that carbon Kevlar nose. And interestingly enough, when Andy Haley's got the clean air, here we are, slide him left for Odi Bakshis, or right for Andy Haley. Simon Olsen will lead and Beecham in the BMW. Wow, sans the hood. Simon really puts it perfectly into that first outside zone. The ESR Kumo Tires BMW chasing him down. Simon utilizing those Kenda tires, and Beecham tucks in. White Widow coming to this last outside zone. Simon puts it in there properly. Want to get that overhead view. Yeah, the car's set up. Learned a lot there working with Odi Bakshis and getting that car dialed. But right now Beecham gets the clean air in more ways than one. That sans the hood into that second outside zone and puts it right in. Simon also good proximity. A lot of these guys, you know, have that proximity. We like to mimic the angle and also, again, drop back just a touch. Ooh, wow, impressive from Beecham. And the last one just turns on the smoke machine. Taking a look at some of the stats here from Simon Olsen. So he wants to get back on the box. Simon Olsen gets the victory. With bases in the stands.
Yeah,
you know, you got some Army, you got some Air Force. But thank you for all those that protect our country, who have served or are serving. Thank you for your service. Here we go, Brandon Sorensen serving up some angle here in that second outside zone. That Air Force BMW. Osoli tucks on into that second outside zone. Look at Osoli almost touching tires there. Good transition allowed him, but did he allow him too much? Give him too much space? No, he jumps right back inside. And here we go. Let's alternate the order here. Osoli now has the clean air. Wow, almost gets it out to the wall. That allows Sorensen to tuck in nicely. We got a great under the hood segment. If you did not see it, check it out about the Sorensen Motorsports camp in Vegas. But right now he is showing up and gambling and pulling that one-armed bandit. Talk about the handbrake into that last outside zone. And brings it across. A good battle here between these two young guns. Get here, O'Sullivan gets one vote, gets it one more time, and O'Sullivan gets the win over. Here we go, Connor Shanahan will lead. Tommy LeMaire and TLO giving chase. Connor Shanahan in that 86, TLO in the Corvette chasing him down. Shanahan brings it in, TLO comes up a bit short in that XPN Corvette. Red Bull 86 into that second outside zone. Now TLO finds that sweet spot. You can see him trying to nose in, trying to grind the door like a die grinder. Now into that last outside zone, transitions TLO. Oh boy, goes in hard, goes into the dirt. TLO stays in it, pins it to the door. So for instance, where those red bars are, that really denotes, again, momentum either slowing down or disrupting.
Right. And you're supposed to decel after transition, which we see. So transition, you can decel, but the smoke completely disappears before he gets into that third outside zone. Now,
all right, so Shanahan is at fault, and unfortunately he's not very happy. Hey, don't put that kind of level of stress on us, Lorette. Look, we're just doing our job up here. It's unfortunate that, that we have that kind of power. We didn't choose this power. The power chose us. Speaking of power, Tommy Lemare initiates, but what? He was like hopping his way out of there. That was, again, Tommy Lemare now leading Connor Shanahan. He was talking aggressively, and now he gets aggressive here to the side of that second outside zone. Tommy Lemare, Prospect champion from last year. He rips into that last outside zone. Connor Shanahan, once again in that third outside zone, gets checked up. But so very interesting here. Shanahan, like you said, a little puff. The car shut down. Stomp your feet for me, make some noise. Hiro Manoa, Derek Madison, our first battle of the top 16 here at E-Town. Hiro Manoa drops in at Jupiter Racing 86. Derek Madison doesn't get all the way out there in the first outer zone. You can see Hiro Manoa riding the edge of the course, flirting with the edge of it. And look at that, Derek Madison, you see him massaging it, kind of going back and forth. He does find that pocket a little bit here and there, but a bit sporadic. Now to the last outside zone, dials it in. Hiro Manoa.
He's out of his head. He's like, you know what? I've got one top 16 appearance. Now I can just have fun.
I like it. Here we go. Derek Madison into that first outside zone. And Hiro Manoa, he's always got these tire fires. Say, oh, buddy, look at that transition. And look, what's cool about that, Derek Madison didn't get too affected, like barely in, maybe if at all, on that transition. And Hiro drops into formation. Now we got a dogfight going to that last outside zone. A little left foot break. Derek Madison just chokes it up just a little bit, a little short sheeting there. And you just keep on keeping on. And Hiro Manoa, speaking of keeping on, his success in Orlando continues. A good drifter and a championship and a winning drifter has a phenomenal chase run. You got James Dean in rearview mirrors, you better look out. Here comes RCP, Rome Charpentier in that lead position. There goes James Dean in that big Mustang, chasing him down. That little 1 Series BMW now into that outside zone, and now coming. Let's see how they handle this inside clip. The one and only, almost touching tires there. Little left foot break there from RCP. That is a momentum zone on the transition. RCP gets in the dirt. Whoa, we are doing tandem, riding the hood, and that was a new one. It's very tough here. Let's see how it plays out here. James Dean, man, he is ripping off that line. You see the car like already sideways on this, like not even on initiation, just drag race into that first outside zone. RCP, he's got nothing to lose. Well, lost his other defender, courtesy of the contact there. But look at him, he is throwing it to the door. RCP giving it all to James the Machine Dean in that last outside zone. RCP gets involved with dirt maybe once again, but
oh yeah, of course,
because he's a rocket man. So that was a big deficit by RCP. Should be pretty consistent with what they saw earlier, so don't expect anything crazy, but you know what? We just saw a car climb on top of another one. So here we go. Matt Field, go ahead and initiates and transitions into the outside zone 2, filling all that. We're to the course edge. We talk about set it and forget it. Looks like he gets involved with a little bit of dirt. He goes rock climbing there, and now transitioning to that last outside zone. There goes Matt Field. Gucci maybe giving himself a little too much room there. Here we go. Ken Gucci out front. And Matt Field in the chase position. Ken Gucci, straight line approach, just initiates right into a very fluid, like that. That was smooth, man. Just like butter into that second outside zone, the big 180-degree turn. Look at Matt Field trying to nudge that GT radial into the side of the Toyota. Now watch this front clip. Both of them wrapping around it into the last outside zone. Seal in the flavor there for Matt Field and Kenshiro Gucci. Here we have him, Matt Field, Ken Gucci, slide him left for Field or right for Ken Gucci, and Matt Field gets 1, 2, and a one more time from. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Right now, it's the battle of Osbo and Hughes. Frederick Osbo and the Rockstar Supra initiating into that first outside zone, puts it exactly where he needs to be. Dylan Hughes shuts her down. The Permatex BMW looks like it might be having some issues as far as Osbo goes. He's going to go ahead and run. No yellow flag, no caution. Dylan Hughes is out of the way, out to outside zone 2. I'm sure he'll call a competition timeout because that is as easy as it gets for Frederick Osbo out there. What are we looking at to open the door?
Yeah, get back on the throttle immediately after initiation, consistently fill all of the zones, and decel after the transition, but, you know, not before. So, got to transition, then you can decel. Pretty simple. I mean, yeah, they want you on throttle through all the zones. Pretty simple. Having a good time.
Good time.
Good time
for Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. Daniel Stuckey's feeling some good momentum, but I'll tell you what, Castro, he's gonna be hard to beat right now because Castro, like I said, the Methyl Dom Toyota GR86, he used the edge of the course, drops a little bit, doesn't get involved with the dirt. That won't hurt him too bad, but now he puts it right in the right spot. So does Stuckey, though. Do not count him out. Look at that. Stuckey tucks right in nicely. Look at that. Right in his pocket. Now coming into that back. Last outside, zone 3. Stuckey's got that clean air. Castro tip to tail, initiates, gets to the side of him. He does come up a bit shallow here. Stuckey might have thrown him off a little bit, but I don't think so. Too bad. Now coming that second outside zone. Puts it right into the right spot. Stuckey, he's deeper into that outside zone. Now that inside clip, both are passed by it nice and tidy. And you got to kind of leave with an exclamation point. All right, slide him left for Castro, right for Stuckey. One vote for Daniel Stuckey, another one more time, and another one more time.
Okay. Castro, I think it's just a relaxed mindset. Just not as stressed out and can have fun again.
Feet in the sand, like you said.
Yep.
Looks like the photo of him on the side of his trailer. All right, one more time battle. Jonathan Castro, Methyl Dom 86. Into that first outside zone, he drops in. Stuckey, cool, calm, and collects in that chase position. Needs to be a little bit closer there. We saw what he could do earlier in the battle. Now comes past that inside clip. So into that last outside zone, Castro puts it in. Stuckey has good proximity. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, don't leave it in the judge's hands. Here goes Daniel Stuckey out front. M-Spec Performance S chassis. Look at Castro. He initiated actually earlier than Daniel Stuckey. Now coming to that big 180-degree outside zone 2. That's what I was talking about. Getting into the dirt. Castro, look at him nosing in that 86. Just diving in that Ken tire on the side of Stuckey. Now in that second outside zone, Castro grips up. Maybe almost. Ooh, that could have gotten really sketchy there for Castro. Again, coming off that his first ever FD podium. Left for Castro, right for Daniel Stuckey. There's 1 vote, 2 vote, and 3 votes. Daniel Stuckey gets the win. Ready to throw down some Neff later on as Jason Jones is watching on from Barbados. He's cheering him on. Chris Forsberg in that all-new Z initiates in that first outside zone. Adam Z drops into formation. Got a little precarious there into that first outside zone. Forsberg sets it and forgets it. And then NOS Energy Drink. Nismo all-new Z and the Drift HQ BMW Into. Look at that. Neff on the roofs. Popping cans in that last outside zone. Bringing it on home. Shoreline Showdown. Straight to Long Beach once again, but a different course. So Adam LZ initiates the first outside zone, using all the course in the first outside zone. Forsberg looks like he has a hiccup there, and he shuts it. Doesn't shut it down, but definitely offline here. Going to need to look at that and kind of focus in on that truth serum past that inside clip. Forsberg trying to make up for it, going to this last outside zone. There goes Adam LZ, and Forsberg looks like he straightens out. Maybe ran out of tire.
I wasn't sure when that came off. Maybe we can spot it in the replay.
Yeah. Very unfortunate for Chris Forsberg. A great lead run. Adam did have a very solid chase run. He Odie focusing on himself. You know, I really think this is his shot here in 25 season to get that championship. Here goes Odie Bakshi in that first outside zone. Simon Olsen in that Supra. You can see him tucking on in, gives himself a little bit of room here in that second outside zone. He knows the trade secrets here. He knows what Odie and that car is capable of. It's almost identical to the vehicle he drove last year, coming in the last outside zone. Odie Bakshi brings it on in, applying again what he learned. That's where I was getting at with Simon, is applying the knowledge that he was, you know, surrounded and marinating in last season. All right, here we go. Simon Olsen now out front. Odie Bakshi in chase position. This is where Odie shines. Talk about composure. Talk about chasing. Watch Odie Bakshi just tuck on in. He's going to try to grind the door of that Mark V Supra of Simon Olsen. Now transition in GT Radio. We'll see if we see some evidence on the door. And tucks on in Simon. Slide him left for Odie, right for Simon Olsen one more time. And Odie Bakshi gets the win. He was giving it all in that BMW, but TLO from Canada. He initiates in that first outside zone. O'Sully tucking in. Again, these guys both form the jump pro rookies, making the jump from prospect to pro, hopping their way through that second outside zone. We don't talk enough about that jump. Middle of that second outside zone transition to the last. Here goes O'Sully surging a tap. A little late in the game there. Is it enough? Anticipate. Like I said, I thought TLO was going to have some hiccups, but Connor, well, watch this though. Hold my United States Army Cup as I'm going to go for it here. Again, we got America versus Canada, the BMW versus the Corvette. It's a hodgepodge of a competition as they go across that second outside zone. Look at, oh man, O'Sully throws some more angle at it as TLO digs into that smoke. TLO on a tighter line. We are looking at Connor O'Sullivan, Tommy Lemaire, and Connor O'Sullivan gets the victory. But Hero Manoa would love to take down his hero, coincidentally, across the nose of that Ford Mustang. Might not want to do that. If you saw RCP's BMW, he might attack. All right, here we go. Hero Manoa into that second outside zone. James Dean tucks in nicely. Look at him mimicking the angle here, throwing it in, and you can see him working that left brake, that left foot brake, right? James Dean now brings it on into the last one. Hero Manoa almost getting eaten by the Mustang. That is where blood was in the water.
James, I have a feeling James is going to throw down a heater right now, though.
Oh, watch. Well, I think he's going to have a gangster entry here. Literally, the physicality of, okay, he tapped that cone, but it didn't go out of place. So James Dean, big entry there from James Dean. Almost gets lost in smoke, burying him in the smoke. Into that second outside zone. There goes James Dean. I mean, he's getting, oh! Hero is fighting back. He is nipping at his ankles right now. The Rugrat is fighting back. Yeah, he might be 15, but he carries big angle. Now across the finish line. It's a good old day. James Dean gets one, gets two, and it's unanimous. Good. Anything can happen. It's Jersey, baby, and it usually does. E-Town. Matt Field goes in. You can see the Osmo of Supra right there. Now into that first outside zone. Both of them navigated properly. Frederick Osmo needs to slide the rear of that vehicle. Not that far. Not that far. Gets him in the dirt, tapping into the brakes, throws Frederick Osmo off a little bit there. And now transitioning that last outside zone. Big angle from Matt Field. Frederick Osmo, he throws it, risks it for the biscuit in that last outside zone. I'm going to do this. Let's step up. Speaking of stepping up, he's going to step up to the occasion, step up to the plate. He has a big entry into that first outside zone, and there you have it. So he retaliates with that. Field comes out of the smoke on a shallower line here. Want to see that overhead. Now there's that aggressive. Looks like he's going to be grinding those GT radials into the door of the Supra. Now see how they handle this transition. Entering that last outside zone. Don't leave in the judge's hands. And there they go, door to door across the finish line. Here we go. Slide him left or slide him right. Frederick Osmo one more time. And Freddie gets the win. M-Spec chassis. Clean start, no cones hit. We saw a great dynamic initiation from Adam previously, and he does it once again. Daniel Stuckey, hopefully his spotter was in his ear telling him, look, this is what you can expect. There it is again, you just talked about it. You can only blame yourself if you go off course there in the lead run. Doesn't affect the attitude of the car too much, but it does disrupt, again, that chase car. Like, where are you going? I don't know if I can go that deep, but there we go. So crossing that finish line, wish you hit a cone, or if you even a failure to launch. All right, but it looks like we got a clean start here. Daniel Stuckey out front, bringing in that first outside zone. LZ, looks like he had to kind of hesitate a little bit, bring it back in just a little bit, but Stuckey puts the car in the right place as opposed to Adam. You saw him get involved in the dirt here. Stuckey brings it into that inside clip. LZ can't even see him, like a magic show. Catch an early flight home from San Diego. Now in that last outside zone across the finish line goes Stuckey and LZ. All right, one more time, Adam LZ, and Adam LZ gets the victory. That's in order to pace him going into that first outside zone. The Excel lights are on in that first outside zone. As the sun is setting, the lights are on here in the stadium. In that first outside zone, look at Odie Bakshi's textbook. I mean, putting that GT radio right on that white line. No blurred lines here, going and transition that last outside zone. Odie Bakshi's ripping in. I'm just keeping a tread right there. Threading the needle is Odie Bakshi's. Yeah, I love where O'Sullivan's at. Just really good confidence. I'll tell you what, Odie, this is not just a pushover win right now. He's going to need to apply the pressure here. O'Sullivan, he's got the clean air. This is what I say. You know, this is the difference between a competitor and a champion, a winner. bouncing him around, pushing him around, but O'Sullivan unfazed. Now going to this last outside zone, what are we gonna do? O'Sullivan brings the heat. Odie right there. For Connor O'Sullivan, O'Sully takes down Odie Bakshis.
Wow.
We know when push comes to shove, very calculated. And Frederick Osbo leaves the line. We got a clean start. Send it. Frederick Osbo initiates in that first outside zone. James Dean could bring it back just a little bit. Tucks into that pocket. Bathing the Kenda tire smoke in that second outside zone. Puts it right in where it needs to be. James Dean got that good proximity. Can massage a little bit more to be parallel to the Toyota Supra. Past that inside clip into the last outside zone. Both of them bringing it on home. James Dean, you can see, almost coming around. When it comes to this, you almost want to, because these guys are they're expected to put on perfection, you need to force a mistake. You know what I mean? Because look back into Atlanta, round 2. It was not 1, but 2 one more times to get an eventual victor, that being James Dean. Now we have dry conditions. Go in that second outside zone. Like I said, just put it and try to force a mistake on either side. Look at James tapping the brakes. Osbo massaged it. He adapts very well. Little left foot brake, kind of halted it up, going to that last outside zone. James keeps composure, as is Frederick Osbo. This is what I was talking about. You don't need to overcook it. A lot of rounds left. James Dean gets 1 vote. Oh, one more time, Ed? One more time. I mean, these guys are some unarguably some of the best drifters in the world. Frederick Osbo initiates that first outside zone. James takes a different approach on that chase position. In the second outside zone goes Freddie. Flirts with the white line on the outside of the outside zone. Now let's see this transition. Boom, right past it. And now going to that last outside zone. There goes Freddie and James in tow. Want to see that overhead view.
Yeah.
And the loser gets 3rd place. The winner goes to the finals. Who's going to be? Are we going to have victor? James Dean, nasty initiation. Came out of it just a little bit. You saw this again. Just knowing how capable James Dean is, you can't make those mistakes. This is what I'm talking about. You know, you got to almost force a mistake on the other side, but we know how perfect these guys are. Now coming at last outside zone, snappy. There's that X factor. Going at last outside zone, massive angle from James Dean. And 2025, who's getting the win? Osbo or Dean? Osbo gets the win. 2 BMWs, an older one, the E36 of Adam LZ. Rips through the chicane. Let's see if he's got another clean initiation. Use all the course. Almost taps that E36 back bumper and wing on the wall. Brings in the second outside zone. He knows this track. He got 3rd last year. Can he better? Look at O'Sully. Tucks in nicely. The counter steer, the white wheel sticking out, showing minimal, if any, corrections at all in that last outside zone. Again, Adam LZ giving this great lead run. O'Sully, lights are on the stadium, and the fans got their lights out. O'Sully will lead. Adam LZ chasing him down. Let's see what kind of run O'Sully initiates right into that first outside zone. Adam LZ a little late to transition to that first and the second big outside zone. Holy cow, we are rubbing and racing and ripping and gripping into this inside clip transition. The last one, Adam LZ dives in. Look at the aggression. He's just chomping. And I saw red light. He's decelling. That was slide him left for Adam LZ, right for Connor O'Sullivan. And Adam LZ gets the victory. New Jersey, E-Town. Let's send it! Here at the Gauntlet. Frederick Osbo initiates in that first outside zone. He places it nice and proper. Adam LZ goes off course. He explodes the outside zone delineation mark. And look at that. There goes Frederick Osbo, Adam LZ. He now is applying the pressure. Is it too much? No, it's not. Going to the last outside zone. Freddie. Stand and deliver right there. Adam LZ overcooked it. Let's send it for the final time. Or is it? Adam LZ initiates in the outside zone. He drags bumper, sparks go flying. Freddie makes a mistake. He goes into the inside. Could Adam LZ get the victory? A massive mistake by Frederick Osbo, or is it? We'll take a look at the replay. Adam LZ, great recovery on that first run, and now a dynamic lead run. Could this be a win for Adam LZ? As Frederick Osbo will lead the championship. Let's announce your top 3 here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship here at Englishtown, aka E-Town, the Gauntlet. Congratulations. Third place goes to James the Machine Dean. Third place here at E-Town. And now your winner here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. What a great effort by both pilots. Throwing sparks, throwing smoke. Back on the box once again, your winner, round 4 at the Gauntlet Formula Drift Pro Championship unanimously is Adam LZ gets the win.
Hell yeah. Congrats.
And Frederick Osbo with second place in the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra. He has the points lead, but gets second place. Adam, the smile says it all, the signature stash, the Drift HQ, BMW, and Frederick Osbo comes out on top still as our points leader after 4 rounds. Still 4 rounds left. We make our way to St. Louis, the gateway to the west, as we make our way west. We continue on to Utah, Washington, and end it back at the Shoreline Showdown.